What's up, guys? So this video is going to be talking about the characters which I think had more room to advance in the meta significantly and didn't. I'm not saying this character would become a top tier. Like, I'll be talking about Jigglypuff and how this character actually has some room to grow. But this character is still bad. I'm just talking about the characters I think there was very, obvious things they could have done, the players could have done to, make this character better, more viable, higher in the tier list, whatever you want to phrase it. And I thought it interesting to talk about before Smash Switch releases. One thing to note is that this doesn't necessarily mean the character, the players just could have done A, B, or C better. I'm talking about Rosa. Rosa players could have edgeguard better with, better space downers, could juggle better with better up airs, better decision making between grabbing, up airing, etc. But this wouldn't change the meta. It would just be getting better at something they already do in the meta. I'm talking about significant changes that are either huge optimizations or just playstyle, buffs. So, with that said, and if you guys hear background noises, I have my windows open because it's way too hot because summer in New York is garbage. So let's get right into it. First character I'm going to talk about is Mario. I feel like a lot of people are going to be surprised at this one. And honestly, the simple thing is three things. First is I think the footstool combos with this character were never really optimized. You saw Zenyu and Dark Wizzy use them, but you never saw Ally Anti use them and really optimize them. When there was a lot of nasty setups this character had to kill people with footstools. Second thing, Flood usage. Flood is just a really annoying tool to get stage control, which is really important for Mario or really any character in the game. And I feel like Mario players didn't just abuse Flood enough, especially when someone's jumping, they just throw Flood out, push them off stage, put them at the ledge, easy peasy. Third thing, Fallout Fireball approaches. Now, Mario players did use this, Anti uses quite a bit, Ally used it a bit. But I think it was never optimized to the point where there are certain matchups where Mario could have just done full out Fireball as his approach all the time and forced 50-50 without too much issue. So, yeah, Mario would never have been a top 5 character, honestly, not with Bayo Cloud existing. You're going to hear that a lot where Bayo Cloud is going to nullify a lot of these optimizations. But, he could have been better. He could have prevented himself from falling off the meta as much. Well, right now he's arguably and most likely not even top 10 finally. He has the tools to be top 10. Next up, not Luigi. I think Luigi was honestly basically optimized with Elegant. Only thing they could have done better is maybe use perfect pivots a bit more, because if I remember correctly, he slides pretty far. But even I'm not sure we got that much out of perfect pivoting around. But Peach, though. There's one very specific thing I think Peach players could have optimized more, and that would just be their general usage of turnip, down air, footstool setup, item locks. If you down air someone with Peach, you could have got footstool, Z drop, then this character is super floaty. Get a hit on them into whatever you want, a grab, a smash, another aerial. A lot of different setups I believe you can go for it. And obviously if you have turnip in hand, which isn't easy, and then down airing someone isn't easy, but I think those setups, if someone's on the ledge and had to get up, you can read them with a down air body them. So yeah, this character had a bit of room to grow. We only really saw Simsorti in the game's lifetime, trying to optimize this character, and Simsor focus a lot more on just playing neutral as opposed to learning these crazy tricks. Playing neutral and learning movement. But yeah, this character had a bit more room with that. Bowser's interesting because I think his ground game is a little bit underrated. His forward tilt is a little bit underused for just a general zoning tool. Short up forward area, maybe a little bit better tool than people give it credit for. Up air shield, honestly, was super underutilized. It was still a really good tool in this game. Not as good as Brawl or Melee, but still a great tool. Yoshi, no. Rosa, I mentioned how she could have been better edge guarding, but yeah, she kind of got all this stuff figured out. Bowser Jr. No, we saw Bowser Jr. players put in work with this character, utilizing side B as well and spacing with aerial as well. But it's hard to say with this character only because he was so rare that I feel the things Bowser Jr. players did were I'm not sure if they were optimized or if they were just good, and a lot of people like me didn't know how to deal with it because there was no Bowser Jr.'s. You see Gluten trying to optimize Wario. Honestly, he did a really good job. There wasn't really much more this character could have done than what Gluteny showcased. We figured out literally percent 75% with rage of different levels and different stages, ding dongs, on a character that's basically all about getting grabs and killing people with ding dongs. I think it's pretty optimized. Honestly, Diddy Kong got so optimized that I think people eventually learn how to fight like super optimized Diddy, and it kind of hurt him. And this gonna sound weird, optimizing him hurt him, but the reason I say that is because, I mean, obviously Zero Quitting also hurt, but even before that, you saw people really learning how to fight Diddy Kong and shut down a lot of things in the last like year of Smash, like second half 2017 to now is like, you know, Diddy Kong really struggled because there wasn't really much for him to do and grow. Maybe like footstool setups. You're gonna notice that a lot of characters could have optimized their footstool setups. But yeah, he had like the geo combos, it's called, like the down throw, footstool, down air, regrab nonsense. But besides that, he was pretty much maximized. Game & Watch. The only thing I think I could be better with this character is a lot of Game & Watch players tended to focus on catching landings with dash attack, up smash, and grab. And because they almost always focused on trying to catch a landing with the grounded option, it wasn't too hard to escape disadvantage versus him as a floaty character, or a character with like good airspeed. And I just think Game & Watch players could have committed more to like short up airs and airs to catch people off guard and get those nice hits in, even if they're not like killing you with up smashes or down throw up airs. You know, it's still a bit better to juggle them than not get juggles all because you're too focused on the greedy juggles. One other thing, I think Game & Watch players had a bad tendency to throw out up smashes a little bit too early when catching landings, and so it was easy for people to react, where if they waited a little bit longer or tried to react to attacks before up smashing, that move would have been even better because it's just such a good move to challenge stuff and kill. I'm sorry, Little Mac. Not much could have been done with you that could have been better. Same with Robin. Ike I don't know about. Honestly, I feel like Ike's a character that didn't really have the players sticking around. Like Ryuga didn't really stick around. You know, he was really good with Ike, and he also switched to Corrin because smart man. You know, Rio got busy with life, and he was playing like 4 characters. But I can't really think of a single Ike player that was around for the long haul with Ike. Because this character had some decent aerials. Backer was really good. Fair and air are both really good. Upsmash is a pretty decent killing smash. Down tilt's a good tilt. And he had like all these decent tools. Good grab game. You know, a recovery that with some mix-ups, which is a great edge guard tool. And I don't think there was necessarily some crazy optimization, but I think in general this character's tools weren't explored and exploited enough because there's no one dedicated to it. Once Marth players, aka Leo, found out how to abuse side B to get the tipper kills really early, ooh, that was like the last like big optimization, but that was a huge optimization. Nothing really. Nothing. But I think Zero Suit players could have done a bit better is run away more. I know versus Cloud and Bayo this wouldn't really work out, but versus most of the cast, this character can just kind of like down B and retreat from everything until they find really easy openings, and instead of trying to force fights. But that was it. I know a lot of Zero Suit players, you know, wanted the player because they want to be aggressive and pressure heavy. But yeah, this character has some potential for basically like degenerate timeout strats that were never utilized. This is a character I think, honestly, if you fought like Icy Mist or get the other Sam, Pyres. Those two players figured out a lot of crazy setups with shield breaks, general pressure, juggling, neutral. Like they had so much tech. And for this character, it wasn't so much optimizing the character as it was those players never got a chance to travel to big events consistently and showcase what optimized high-level Samus can do. Toon Link, honestly, I'm not going to speak about Toon Link because we've never seen the best Toon Links from Japan and America. We're going to see them at Hyrule Saga, so that might be like, we might actually see some crazy new good Toon Link tech when they're at Hyrule Saga. And you know, the Hyuga thing happened, he could like showcase a lot of Toon Link stuff. All I can really say is, this character fell off the map really quickly because of unfortunate events, and you know, whenever we saw like the extent of like the bomb setups, like maybe the character could like bomb into footstool stuff, like bomb into like boomerang into aerials to kill really early, even more than like just bomb fair. You know, maybe they could have had like some sort of like crazy like bomb, like throw a bomb up, grab someone, throw them into a bomb, and they combo fair steps we didn't see. Maybe they would have found like a consistent way to two-frame people with down air, because I know Toon's going for that, but don't really get it often. Maybe they could figure out how to like zare people off stage as an edge guard tool. There's a lot of stuff this character probably could have done that we're never going to see. Nah, this character had very straightforward tools and wasn't very good, sadly. Honestly, I would have said this character wasn't being played optimally until Void at Smash and Splash was like, hey, I'm just gonna play perfect neutral, but I'm also gonna play perfect needle neutral, combined with like a regular like close range like grab, dashing around game, and fighting a Sheik just throwing needles at you and then playing a really good neutral when she wants to go in after throwing needles. Very good. There honestly isn't that much left to do, but even then, there was still footstool setups characters didn't go for. A lot of perfect pivot setups that you saw Void go for, but maybe they could have been extended even more. One thing you really saw from Void at Smash and Splash was using up smash to kill off good reads. So maybe the character's general punish game with smashes could have been optimized instead of trying to go for regrabs and landings and aerials to catch landings. So there's some room there that I think Void has showed us hints of at Smash and Splash, but could still be exploited by more of the high and top level Sheiks. Nope. I don't know, because this character, T fell off the map really hard. He kind of showcased everything, and I'm not really sure if there was more room for T to showcase crazy stuff. The only thing I could think of is for edge guarding, pulling out bombs, jumping off stage, up beating into people as they're recovering off stage to kill them, but then using the bomb explosion to recover afterwards, which sounds risky, but I think this could be a very reliable setup to hit people and chase them off stage and just improve Link's general advantage state as opposed to just holding the ledge, which he wasn't that great at because he'd make kind of hard reads due to laggy jump squats and all these other slow attacks. I think this character is super optimized. I think Raito, Yusan, and Brood, the Japanese Duck-Kun trio, really figured this character out and learned how to use shield canning effectively. And there's also a couple Duck-Kuns in America, Do Wang and I can't remember the other one. But yeah. They really figured out how to use the can effectively, gunman setup for guaranteed grabs and shield, combos off the frisbee, throw combos, setups to kill with the up air, good edge guarding, great ways to escape disadvantage when using the can. It was really just, they figured out how to use the can so much and implement it in so many ways to make the rest of the gameplay so good. And honestly, Duck-Kun players, I think, brought this character farther than most players of their characters could in terms of meta. I don't really think there's much this character for them. People figure out the combos, people figure out approaches, how to use aerials, all this stuff, but at the end of the day, this character just had the issue if he couldn't reinforce fights. Honestly, I'm not sure how this character could have been advanced. I feel like this character's had the issue of being too big and slow, and too easy to punish. This character's pretty optimized. Once again, footstool setups, you didn't see footstool weak hit nair or footstool down air stuff enough. We saw Lights out using drag down fair into stuff steps, which was really great. And off stage drag down fair footstool was crazy. But just in general on stage, if you watch Scarlett's videos on Twitter or YouTube, he showcased a lot of stuff this character could do for optimal combos that was never utilized. Also, Fox players never utilized laser camping enough. I'm not talking about melee, triple short hop laser, because obviously you can't do that, but just shooting a laser from full screen, forcing an approach, and then approaching with a cross up dash attack or spacing aerials and doing other things to get free damage, put people in perfect combo percents, and then just annoy them and force the approaches, which makes it easy for Fox to just run in and whiff punch the approach, was something that was never utilized, or at least not utilized to the extent it could have been from Fox players. This character is weird, because I think this is similar to Ike, where I know you had AC pulling out this character and using him well, and showcasing some of his great tools like back air, up smash, a good jab, good throw combos. But you never have you also co-made Meta Knight, and you never have a dedicated player showcasing just how good, back air, jab, grab, up smash, forward smash, down tilt, all those things were, and how they really could be abused to their fullest. We never quite saw a player with ESAM's skill level of neutral and conversions and edge guarding and advantage state combined with a really campy Pikachu that's very opportunistic and has a really good disadvantage state that involves escaping as opposed to trying to be aggressive at disadvantage. And I think the optimization would have just been mixing the really defensive styles of some Pikachus Rede and Captain L. Actually, no, Captain L's pretty aggressive, but Rede, I know I'm forgetting one Pikachu, along with just general great, like, aggressive tendencies and advantage state tendencies for me, Sam. Nah, this character's not functional. I think we saw Lucario players try and use too much back air spacing in the neutral, not just play enough grounded footsies looking for whip punishes with dash attack and dash grab. And that sounds very basic, like just dash around, dash attack, and dash grab. But Lucario had one of the best Foxtrots in the game, along with good grab range, good frame data on like his bursted dash options, and then of course back air is still good, Aura Sphere is still good. But I think a lot of times Lucario players focus too much on jumping around trying to hit people instead of letting them make the mistake. So there is honestly more room for optimization in Lucario, and this character could arguably have been like bottom of top tier or top of high tier, given we had the player that just wanted to play as simple as possible while knowing when to press buttons with this character. I mentioned this character at the start. Now, first of all, don't get me wrong, this character is so bad, but I think we never saw Jigglypuff players learn their rest setups enough. I'm talking about like down air, like guaranteed rest, which was actually a thing at the right percents, or like weak hit nair / fair into guaranteed rest. There's also tech chase setups, but people could just tech away and they couldn't get Jigglypuff players could get rests on them, so that's not that great. But since this character was treated like a meme since the beginning of the game until Captain L started pulling him out very recently, you know, we never saw like the crazy rest setups. We never saw the really high edgeguarding potential this character has, because Jigglypuff's fair, bear, and air, and dare are all really solid edgeguarding tools. And just throwing someone off stage and chasing there, like, Jigglypuff was so good at that, unless your character's like Bayonetta or like Meta Knight, you actually have to respect it. But, you know, this character's treated as a meme, so no one even bothered to re-explore the potential things this character could have had to be kept out of the title of worst character in the game for almost 4 years. Now, I'm not talking about footstool steps with this character. I know everyone loves talking about how Greninja could do like crazy things with that. No, I'm just talking about general shuriken camping. This character's shuriken game was actually dumb. Like, if you thought Greninja just ran away, threw shurikens, and was basically the most obnoxious thing in the world, you actually would not have fun. Shuriken from Greninja was such a solid zoning tool. It got decent poke damage. You know, it forced approaches. It let Greninja go into my monster if he charged a shuriken. And I feel like Greninja players would focus a lot, not necessarily on their combo game, but on their spacing with fair, you know, getting down tilts and grabs and with punching things with dash X, that they never just took time to chill and said, hey, I'm going to poke you out with some damage and threaten some timeouts. And unless your character is like Sheik or like Fox, some character that has a spacing tool, projectile tool that is as good if not better than mine, you know, I'm going to win these long range exchanges. So yeah, Greninja had a lot more room to grow based on that alone, and could have easily been like a relevant character in the meta. Sinji put so much work into this character, I don't think this character could have advanced any further. Like the shield poke setups, shield break setups even, you know, the ways to get items, really good hydrant uses, so many things with this character that took so long for Sinji, Zage, and other Pac-Mans. I think there's also a Pac-Man named T, funny enough, and a different T from Link in Japan, that put a lot of work for this character early into the game. And it showed the item setups crazy, and sadly this character didn't have the A buttons to like balance out the item setups. You know, like same thing as Marth. I didn't mention Pit, and like I mentioned Dark Pit, because there wasn't very much the characters could do. As everyone knows, I really think these characters, Pit and Dark Pit, were just atrocious without any redeeming qualities, really, outside of having decent tools in almost every regard. Honestly, this character reminds me of like Ganondorf, where kind of a meme character, but this character had, you know, decent throw combos. Up smash was a pretty decent tool. I remember we saw, you know, Naru use Dr. Mario to beat ECM at MLG in like 2015, and obviously that was early meta, but I think this character could have been a decent pick against some of the brawler characters like Mario, Pikachu, Fox even. Characters that, you know, up close he just out damages with up smash into regrabs and then regrabs into like fairs for killing and lots of damage. Decent combo game with up tilt into like back air and just generally a strong back air. Down B being a great edge guard tool. Up B being a great kill option that was good as shield. But since no one really took the character seriously, except I think, too many cooks in B7, which, I think both of them basically stopped playing this game like a year ago, if not more. We never saw this character truly show how good those tools can be and how they can match up against certain, like, relevant meta characters and, of course, like, lower tier characters. Choke players tried. That there isn't much you can do when your character has reactable everything. John Numbers tried. There is much your character can do when your best strategy is camped on the ledge. Honestly, Olimar is definitely a character that could have been optimized more. I played him as a secondary, but I never really focused on optimizing his stuff. He had his back air is an amazing pressure tool. You do a low to the ground. Sharp arrow is a great tool. He had purple Pikmin side B into dash up jab blocks, which could set up really nasty kills I never utilized. Shoots I never utilized. Myron did. Honestly, if you want to look at optimal Olimar, you have to look at Myron, who put a lot of lab work into this character with the footstool setups, not footstool, but jab block setups, with the crazy pressure setups, with the really fast Pikmin cycling. I think I was really good at optimizing Olimar's disadvantage state, using up B to weave around attacks, stall in the air, mix people up and confuse them. And yeah, if you took my disadvantage state with Olimar, especially off stage, for just up being around edge guards, you took Shuton's general knowledge of neutral and knowing when to go with Olimar, when to back off, and when to make hard reads, and Myron's pure aggressive tendencies, great combo game, and really strong setups, you would have a character that would not have been top tier. Character still has a lot of issues with disadvantage. Character can still have trouble killing versus characters with lots of disjointed range. But you would have had a character that wouldn't have fallen off really hard in the later half of 2017. Also, Myron and Shuton both not traveling, and me basically dropping the character as Rosa just became so much better was another issue. Honestly, this is a sad story of a character that I think Renai figured out a lot of his meta really early with the tree steps at the ledge, great edge guarding, using Nair really well, and jab, axe, crazy Lloyd Rocket setups. And this character was really figured out very quickly. And then I think just sortie characters, the DLC, came in, and even if there was maybe some other optimizations this character could have done, I don't think it would have mattered when it was too many Clouds, Corrins, and Baos, and Mewtwo's. Apparently that matchup was actually really bad for Renai. He had a lot of losing records to Mewtwo's. But I think those characters all just came in and said, hey, it doesn't matter what you figure out, it's going to be too hard for you. Look at Fatality. Fatality has actually figured this character out. The combo game for me is insane. The neutral game, the edge guarding game, the everything game, even the disadvantage state. The way he weaves around recoveries with his up B is so impressive, and he's by far the hardest Falcon edge guard. And honestly, his character was really figured out by Fatality. And of course the other Falcon players, he's the ones that showed it off. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this character. I think I put him as mid-tier in my last video. But this character, no matter what weaknesses he has with his recovery, his disadvantage state, lack of range, this character still had a really strong up air and back air spacing game. Down smash, 2 frames, edge guards were amazing. PK Thunder was a nice tool that just to poke people out and juggle and be annoying. PK Fire was a great whiff punish tool. Dash Tech was a really great burst option for Ness. Still had a good grab game and a great back throw. And just in terms of optimization, I really think Ness players could have optimized their ledge setups with down smash to basically get 2 frames, force get-ups, and then react to the get-up after they force it, and punish people really hard and basically kill them really early, or keep them at the ledge and off stage for basically ever. This character's amazing air movement allows him to evade so many attacks and punish. If you've watched, I think S1 from Europe is the player's name. If you watch him use PK Magnet to move around the air, it was crazy. This character's disadvantage thing when it came to being juggled was so much better than people gave it credit for. Even off stage, there were some things he could do when he used PK Magnet to stop his momentum and quickly fade to ledge. And if you didn't have Foe and Shaky both quit the game really early into its life cycle, and the cat basically switched to being a fox main, you could have seen this character's advantage state when it came to ledge and like anti-juggling tactics really shine and keep him from falling so far. Not much his character done. There were some setups like gyro with the ledge to like throw it down and catch options, but smart people just hold the ledge, carrying too much off that, and just his ease of being comboed and murdered by like half the cast was way too much for him to compensate for. You know, I know Wadi's tried pulling him out recently and it just doesn't really work out often. Obviously, 8-Bit Man just basically mains Diddy Kong now, uses Rob for people that don't know how to deal with the character. But there's not much that could be done. Mega Man. Kamame tried. I think there was some potential in this character to use down tilt and up tilt as a really good anti-air, because one of his biggest issues was just, you know, players could jump at him like Sheik or Bayo or Zero Suit could jump at him above his like pellets, and that was like a really easy and exploitable blind spot because Fair wasn't really that good of a tool. He got back air, but he had to make a kind of hard read with back air, and it was pretty committal to do like a turnaround, you know, a neutral like dash up turnaround, reading a jump in from that angle. And this character didn't have, the players didn't really figure out the tools to deal with those really difficult jump ins. But honestly, this character had a good pivot grab. Down tilt made him really low, and it was like a good distance. He might be able to punish things off like dash back, quick down tilt. I'm not sure if up tilt invincibility. Let me check quickly. But I believe up tilt did have decent invincibility. Up smash was pretty fast, so maybe Mega Man could have reacted more with up smashes to approaches. And I think the defensive options on just these anti-airs, you know, besides just shielding in place, taking the pressure, or like trying to hard commit to like a jump aerial, I think their grounded options were enough to keep out people from jumping in. Yet down tilt was invincible from frames 3 to 12 in the leg, which is nice. Up tilt, intangible frames 5 to 7 when the hitbox comes out, so it's okay. If you timed it right, it'd be pretty good. But yeah, you know, you saw Kamame like super fall off, stop attending events. You saw Scott got busy with life, and they never figure out the answer to the big issues. Because this character is good versus a lot of meta characters rising. Good versus Ryu, good versus Cloud. I think Mario's supposed to be a bad matchup. Honestly, if they figure out how to use their grounded anti-airs better, it wouldn't be that bad of a matchup. Bayo probably will always be a bad matchup. That's because it's Bayo. I can imagine Corrin would be that bad of a matchup. I could just imagine so many matchups among the meta characters wouldn't have been that bad for Mega Man. And aren't that bad for Mega Man. Even nowadays. Sonic. The thing about Sonic is I feel like there's so many Sonics and they all figured out different things. Wrath was like the optimal like runaway campy style. Ken was the best at using Sonic's grounded speed outside spin dashes and really utilizing forward smash. And other Sonic players could take in his forward smash usage. You know, Static Mania was by far the best at disadvantage state. 60X was the best at keeping pressure on with really well placed back airs and up airs. And then they all had different setups off like spring up throw up air. You know, Kel's had like the up throw up B in air to catch someone like air dodging if she reads the timing of it to up air and kill you early. You know, Wrath just knew the percents. And like they all had really good stuff, and if you just took them all together and put them into one player, you would have had a broken character maybe. And I say maybe because Bayo camping is still a huge problem for this character, along with Cloud just being Cloud. But there was things this character could have done. And I think that Sonic players just didn't learn enough from each other. Mewtwo. The only thing I think this character has done better is down B usage. I feel like down B was one of those tools that was super underrated because that was basically the same range as down tilt, except it goes a little bit higher. But you know, if you are like down tilting someone on the ground, you know it's gonna hit. Down B instead, get the the confusion on them, or it's one of those two. I forget. Anyway, get whatever it is. Get like your fully charged like forward smash or up smash. You know, kill people earlier. Go for your big combos, and it wasn't even that unsafe of a tool compared to like compared to down tilt. I'm not gonna look it up right now, but I know it wasn't that much laggy if you spaced it at max range. I know Wadi started using that, but he could use it even a lot more neutral just to be a really good tool to punish people pressing buttons while facing Mewtwo. Lucas. I don't really think there's much this character could have done. Obviously, you have the footstool setups like always, like down throw, footstool, down air, jab block, regrab until they're dead. And that's like the dream, but I know there's a lot of issues with that only because you have to read the DI on the footstool. You can't just react to it with Lucas, I don't believe. Or if you could, it was very difficult. And just the other characters' tools were pretty limited. I don't really think there's much Roy could have done either. He was a pretty linear character, and I think his advantages were like pretty obvious, like good combo game, good grab game, but his disadvantages were so bad, and there wasn't really much counterplay to his disadvantage state being really bad. Now Ryu is actually an interesting character because people always love talking about his potential, but honestly, the Ryu players figured out his combo game really well. They figured out his pressure game really well. The one thing they didn't really figure out is abusing their shield pressure. I'm talking about like when you're next to someone shielding with Ryu, instead of going for first to break the shield or like down tilting a couple times and then just backing off, continuing down tilt. Wanted to like down tilt twice in the shield, and Shiryu, knowing that they block it, it breaks their shield unless you like drop shield and the perfect shield. I don't think they could do that though. And if they just get hit by it, they get hit by a true Shiryu. And like there were some setups like that where you could force the shield to be low with an attack, true Shiryu, and you couldn't roll in time to escape the Shiryu, but if you blocked, you'd get shield broken. So it was really easy shield pressure, and the Ryu players never abused it to the level they could. And then this character's disadvantage that, Ryu players are pretty good at. They could have been a little better maybe at like mixing up like fast fall nairs and down airs into their focus escapes, because sometimes they focus a bit too much and get focused on using focus. Because sometimes they focus a bit too much on focusing out of bad situations instead of just aggressively escaping them when they're being juggled. And then even off stage, they had good mix-ups with side B and up B and focus that they could have played a bit better off stage. Now this character still would struggle because the character is still slow with really bad movement in the air, like atrocious movement in the air because they have to commit very hard to every jump in. But yeah, there was a lot more room, and even fireball camping with the red fireball was a pretty nice option that I don't think the Ryu players abused enough. Out of all the characters, I think Ryu might be one of the characters that was most underdeveloped in the meta. Not because the combo game was underdeveloped. Honestly, I think they overdeveloped that and didn't develop everything else enough. Cloud. I hate to say it, but this character still had a lot more room to grow. Weak hit down air and setups in the footstools, or just like combos for spikes like forward air or side B cross slash, or even just finishing touch. The Cloud players really figured out how to abuse his advantage state, so there's nothing to talk about there. And they're starting to figure out now how to get around his disadvantage state. How to accept getting hit, take the hit, but still recover by going high in certain matchups. Or in other matchups, going low and knowing the opponent can't really edgeguard Cloud if he goes low. So they're figuring out now how to avoid the edge guards in disadvantage state. But there's still down intercepts, there's still nair setups they don't abuse, like knowing the percents for nair, side B, no matter the DI, or knowing how to react to DI and killing people anyway. Knowing like the optimal percents for like falling, like auto cancel up air, not auto cancel, like fast fall, landing up air into like follow ups. Knowing the optimal percents for like down throw, frame traps, no matter how the opponent attacks or DIs. And there's actually a crazy amount of growth this character could experience. Corrin. I don't think this character had much to do. Maybe the players could be a bit more patient and neutral. One thing I've noticed is that Corrin players tended to be very jumpy and neutral. They'd look for the back airs, they'd look for the fairs, nairs, they'd look for side Bs in neutral, and they wouldn't just wait for someone to press a button and punish it with their massive range. And it was hard for a character without much ground speed. Yeah, this character had potential for that. Finally, Bayo. This character. This character still has room to go. If you look at all the Bayos, they all play differently, all have different combos, follow-ups, edge guards, etc. And I don't really think I think there's too much to talk about on how this character could have advanced and become even scarier than she already is. That I'm just going to say, if this game had another 2 years to go, oh my god, everyone would be playing Bayo at top level, honestly. But, like, it's never going to hit that point. And then Mies, I don't know. We didn't get to see if Mies have anything, because, poor Mies, honestly. So, yeah, like I said, it could be, if you listen to this video and you're like, oh, you forgot about this, Dabuz, or you're over-exaggerating this. Opinions, man. Opinions. It's hard to know everything about each character. I don't mean, all the cast. But this is just my feelings on the different characters. And I think not many of them really had a lot of room to grow. I think most of them, figured out, their most important things in the meta and how to take advantage of them. And yeah, Smash 5 in less than 6 months, guys. Get hype.